Imagine standing before a door that separates two completely different worlds. On one side, there is an infinite void where souls exist as pure energy. On the other side, there is our physical reality, where bodies are formed cell by cell in the mother's womb. This illustrates one of the greatest mysteries of human entry. The exact moment when the soul enters the body. Think about your own experience. Can you remember the moment you first became aware of yourself? Of course not. In the same way, the moment the soul enters occurs in dimensions beyond our conscious perception. This is an event that occurs simultaneously on physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual levels, creating a complexity that challenges any linear explanation. The ancient Egyptians believed that this moment was connected to the alignment of a specific constellation. The Greeks spoke of a divine breath that gave life to inanimate matter. The Hindus describe a gradual process in which different aspects of the soul settle into the body at distinct moments. Every culture has developed a complex system to explain the ineffable. But here's the fascinating point. All these traditions agree on one thing. There truly is a specific moment, a sacred moment, in which something fundamental changes. Some esoteric traditions teach that the soul does not simply enter the body, but actively chooses the timing of this transition. This means that each entry is unique and personal, occurring at the perfect cosmic moment for that particular consciousness. Prepare for a journey that will challenge everything you thought you knew about the beginning of life. 3 moments, 3 theories, 3 completely different perspectives on when the soul makes its triumphant entry into the human body. For centuries, these viewpoints have divided not only esoteric students, but also philosophers, theologians, and even scientists. Each has its own logic, specific evidence, and profound implications regarding the nature of conscious life. Theory 1. The entry of the soul at the moment of conception. This view, supported by many Christian traditions and some esoteric schools, states that at the precise moment the sperm penetrates the egg, the soul takes residence in the new being. It's as if the universe is waiting for this cellular encounter to give the green light to consciousness. Proponents of this theory argue that from the very first moment, a unique energy field, a vibrational signature exists that did not exist before. Think about the magnetic force that must be present at that moment. 2 gametes, each carrying the genetic stories of entire generations, combine in a microscopic explosion of possibilities. For followers of this perspective, it is impossible for such a powerful event to occur without the direct involvement of the soul. They mention cases where mothers report extraordinary dreams on the very night of conception or feel immediate shifts of energy in their bodies, as if something fundamental has changed. The second theory, entry at the time of implantation. Here we are talking about the moment when the embryo attaches to the wall of the uterus, usually between the 6th and 12th day after conception. This school of thought believes that only when the embryo establishes a real connection with the mother's body can the soul properly anchor itself. It's as if the soul needs a permanent address for its final establishment. Those who defend this theory point to an interesting fact. It is precisely during implantation that the hormones signaling pregnancy begin to be produced. Is this a coincidence? For them, it is not. This is a chemical signal that a new consciousness has just begun to function. Many shamanic traditions speak of this period as a moment of negotiation between the incoming soul and the body that is to receive it, a delicate process that takes several days to complete. The third theory, entry at the time of the first heartbeat. Perhaps the most poetic theory of all is that the soul enters at the moment of the first heartbeat. This usually happens around the 3rd week of pregnancy, when a tiny organ, smaller than a poppy seed, begins to beat with its own unique rhythm. For those who follow this view, this is the moment when the soul quite literally gives life to the physical body. The heart has always been regarded as the seat of the soul in countless cultures. The Egyptians, Greeks, and Chinese all saw the heart as much more than just an organ. It is the center of consciousness, the gateway between spirit and matter. When a tiny embryonic heart beats for the first time, it is as if the soul is declaring, "I am here, I am alive. I am ready for this journey." If the entry of the soul is not a single event, but rather a step-by-step process, some advanced esoteric traditions speak precisely about this. Different aspects of the soul settle in at distinct moments. First comes the spark of life, then the emotional connection, and finally, full consciousness. This layered perspective explains why different people have such varied experiences, and why every theory finds its own advocates and specific evidence. Day 1, the sacred period of 40. What happens in the first 40 days? The sacred 40-day period. This number appears with such consistency in nearly every spiritual tradition around the world that it cannot be a coincidence. 40 days and 40 nights of rain in Noah's flood, 40 years in the desert for the people of Israel, 40 days of Jesus fasting in the wilderness, 40 days of Buddha meditating under the Bodhi tree. And when we talk about the entry of the soul into the human body, the first 40 days of pregnancy appear as a truly sacred and transformative period. But why exactly 40 days? The answer lies in the cyclical nature of creation. 40 represents a complete cycle of spiritual transformation. It is enough time for profound changes to become permanently established. In pregnancy, it is during this period that the most fundamental transformations in the development of the fetus take place. During the first 40 days of pregnancy, events occur that seem to follow a cosmic plan. In the first week, fertilization and the initial moments of cell division occur. In the second and third weeks, implantation and the beginning of the formation of vital organs take place. In the fourth week, the first heartbeat, and so on. Each week brings specific milestones that lay the foundation for conscious life. Esoteric traditions teach that during these initial 40 days, there is a constant connection between the incoming soul and the spiritual dimension from which it originates. It's as if there is an energetic umbilical cord that connects the new consciousness to higher dimensions, allowing for final adjustments and preparation for full incarnation. There is also a fascinating numerological aspect. 40 days is approximately equal to 5 weeks and 5 days. In sacred numerology, the number 5 represents the manifestation of divine will on the material plane. 5 senses 5 elements, 5 points of the star that symbolizes the perfected human. It's as if during this period, the soul gradually dons the 5 aspects that enable its full expression in the physical world. Eastern and Western perspectives. Eastern traditions refer to this period as the moment of the first spiritual breath, not the physical breath that only occurs at birth, but the breath of energy. The moment when the soul begins to inhale material experience and exhale its spiritual essence into the new body. This is a gradual process of adaptation, like a diver who slowly descends to adjust to the pressure of the depths. From the perspective of physical development, the first 40 days are truly magical. This is when the central nervous system, the heart, the main organs, and the primary sensory organs are formed. It's as if the soul personally oversees the construction of its new home, making sure every detail is perfect for the long journey ahead. Some esoteric schools teach that it is during this period that the soul makes its final agreements with destiny. Choices about the lessons it will learn, the challenges it will face, and the gifts it will bring to the world. It's like a final planning session before fully immersing in the human experience. What makes this period even more special is that it almost always happens before the mother is consciously aware of her pregnancy. It's as if the soul wants to carry out all these preliminary tasks in secret and settle in completely before announcing its arrival in the physical world. By the 40th day, according to many traditions, the soul has already made its final choice and is fully committed to this incarnation. This marks the end of the trial period and the beginning of the true journey of growth and development. Signs of the soul's arrival. When a soul enters the human body, it leaves behind clues, signs, and energetic markers that can be perceived by those who know how to observe. These are subtle yet persistent messages that have been reported by mothers from all cultures and spiritual traditions, like small everyday miracles that announce the arrival of a new consciousness. The first and most common sign is extraordinary dreams. We are not talking about ordinary dreams, but rather dream experiences of a completely different quality layer, more vivid and filled with deep meaning. Many mothers report that even before they know they are pregnant, they dream of the soul of their baby. Dreams in which a luminous presence appears, a gentle voice announces its arrival, or certain symbols repeatedly show up. One mother reported that 3 days before discovering her pregnancy, she dreamed of a garden full of golden flowers. In the dream, a small child was running among the flowers saying, "Mom, I chose you." When she woke up, the feeling was so real that she even searched the house. It was as if a child was truly present. 2 days later, a pregnancy test confirmed what her heart already knew. Another remarkable sign is sudden changes in energy sensitivity. Women who had never paid attention to energies before begin to sense presences, feel changes in their environment, and pick up on the vibrations of people and places with remarkable accuracy. It is as if the arrival of the soul expands the mother's energy receptors, preparing her for the subtle connection that occurs throughout pregnancy. Synchronicities also multiply in extraordinary ways, numbers that appear repeatedly. Health encounters with people who bring special messages. Books that fall off the shelf containing exactly the information needed. Songs that play at the perfect moment with lyrics that seem to speak directly to the situation. It's as if the entire universe is conspiring to affirm and celebrate the arrival of the new soul. There is also the phenomenon of inexplicable physical changes. Some mothers report changes in taste that cannot be explained by hormones alone, a sudden aversion to foods they always loved, or intense cravings for foods they had never tried before. It's as if the soul is already influencing the preferences and needs of the physical body. A particularly interesting sign is changes in the perception of time. Many women describe a feeling that time has stopped at a particular moment during the early days of pregnancy, or that its quality has changed. It's as if there's an energetic time marker that divides life into before and after this moment. This moment does not necessarily coincide with physical conception, but rather with the entry of the soul's energy. Eastern understanding of the soul's entry. While the West debates the timing of the soul's entry into the body, the East has developed a much more complex understanding of how this process unfolds. In Hinduism, the soul or Atman does not simply enter the body, rather, it descends through various layers of existence and passes through 7 vibrational levels before it is fully anchored on the physical plane. This process is called Sapa Patala, or the 7 descents of consciousness. Each descent represents the soul donning a new layer of energy. It's like someone gradually putting on clothes to face colder weather. The first descent occurs at the moment of conception, when the divine spark makes its initial contact with matter. But this is only the initial spark. The subsequent descents are related to the development of the main chakras, the formation of the energetic body, and the establishment of karmic connections. It is only around the 4th month of pregnancy that the Atman becomes fully anchored, bringing with it the entire burden of previous lives and the specific purpose of this incarnation. Buddhism offers a more detailed perspective through the concept of Bardo Sitpa, the intermediate state between death and rebirth. According to Tibetan teachings, the consciousness that is to be reborn goes through a transitional period that can last up to 49 days. During this time, it observes various possibilities for birth in order to find a womb that offers the ideal conditions for its karmic lessons. But here's the fascinating part. Consciousness does not simply choose and enter. First, it establishes an energetic connection with its future parents and subtly influences the events that lead to conception. It's as if it is an invisible conductor orchestrating the circumstances for its own return to the physical world. Only after ensuring that all conditions are aligned does it make its definitive entry. Taoism perhaps offers the most poetic perspective of all. According to this tradition, every soul is like a raindrop that forms in the clouds of the Tao, the primordial source of all existence. During pregnancy, this drop gradually condenses until it is ready to fall into the physical world. But even after birth, it maintains an invisible connection to the clouds from which it came. Taoists speak of 3 Han spiritual aspects of the soul that attach to the body at different times. The first Han enters at the moment of conception, bringing with it the essential life force. The second Han arrives around the 3rd month, bringing personality and emotions. The third Han only fully manifests at the time of birth, bringing spiritual wisdom and a connection to the Tao. This layered perspective explains why Eastern traditions consider certain periods of pregnancy especially sacred. It's not just a matter of physical development, but also the gradual establishment of different aspects of consciousness. Each month represents the installation of a new energy, a new layer of spiritual complexity that is revealed. What unites all these traditions is the understanding that the soul is not a simple entity, but rather a complex collection of energies, memories, purposes, and connections. When we talk about its entry into the body, we are actually talking about a spiritual download process that occurs at specific stages. Take Christianity and the soul, for example. The tradition of Hildegard of Bingen, the extraordinary German mystic of the 12th century, had detailed views on this process. In her writing, she describes how she saw the soul descending from the heart of God as a golden light, gradually condensing until it finds the forming body. According to her views, this encounter does not occur at the moment of conception, but rather when the fetus reaches sufficient spiritual maturity to receive the divine light. Hildegard saw that the soul brings 3 gifts with it: life, which animates the physical body; wisdom, which makes knowledge possible; and love, which enables connection with God and others. Each of these gifts is instilled in the body at different times during pregnancy, creating gradual layers of consciousness. The apocryphal Gospels, early Christian texts that were not included in the official canon, contain fascinating revelations on this subject. The Gospel of Philip speaks of a moment when the Holy Spirit covers the forming being with its wings, referring to a specific moment when the soul is instilled in the physical body. This moment will be accompanied by signs that are visible only to those whose spiritual eyes are open. Meister Eckhart, the great German mystic, taught that the soul does not enter the body like water being poured into a vessel, but rather like a fire that gradually kindles another fire. His sermons speak about the process of spiritual ignition in which the divine spark present in every soul awakens matter to conscious life. It is as if the soul is a match. and the body is a candle. The meeting of the two creates an entirely new flame. The Dagat Fathers, those early Christian monks who retreated to Egypt in search of direct mystical experiences, left behind accounts of visions of embodiment. Saint Anthony of Egypt described that during deep prayer he witnessed a moment when the soul put on the body like a garment. But this garment was not simply worn. It was woven around the soul by angels specialized in this sacred task. These Christian esoteric traditions developed an understanding that three bodies are formed simultaneously: the physical body, which is visible, the etheric body, which is energetic, and the astral body, which is emotional. The soul needs to connect with all three in order to complete its incarnation. This process begins with the etheric body during the first weeks. During the second trimester, it progresses to the astral body, and it is only in the physical body that it is completed at the moment of birth. Modern science and the soul. Dr. Peter Hare from Queen's University, Belfast, conducted revolutionary studies that forever changed our understanding of when consciousness emerges. His research showed that 18-week-old fetuses already displayed specific musical preferences, recognize their mother's voice, and even respond differently to emotional stimuli. But what truly impressed the scientific community was the discovery that these responses could not be explained solely by neurological development. Fetuses display distinct personalities long before the nervous system is fully formed. Some seem more active, while others are calmer. Some respond strongly to classical music, while others prefer gentler rhythms. It's as if each one brings a unique signature of consciousness that manifests independently of brain maturation. Dr. Giuseppe Benvenuto, an Italian neurologist, documented cases of fetal memory that challenge all conventional explanations. Children who at the age of 2 or 3 accurately describe events that occurred during pregnancy, specific conversations between the parents, songs that were played, even details about the environment the mother was in. According to our current understanding of memory formation, these memories should not exist, yet they persist and can be verified. Dr. Catherine Monk from Columbia University made troubling discoveries about the emotional synchronization between mother and fetus. Her studies showed that the fetus's heartbeat changes not only in response to the mother's physical state, but also to her subtlest thoughts and emotions. It's as if there is a telepathic connection between two consciousnesses sharing the same physical space. But perhaps the most revolutionary discovery comes from studies conducted by Dr. Fritz Albert Popp in Germany. His research showed that living cells emit a very subtle field of light that appears to carry complex information. During pregnancy, this field displays unique patterns around the fetus that do not match what would be expected based solely on cellular activity. It's as if an additional source of light is radiating from the developing being. The soul's choice and free will. Does the soul choose when to enter? According to the most advanced traditions, even before physical conception, the soul has already begun a complex process of preparation and planning. The soul studies the available family lineages. It evaluates the most effective lessons it needs to learn. It assesses the gifts it wants to develop and the contributions it wishes to offer to the world. It's like a student who not only chooses the university, but also the field of study, professors, and even classmates. Dr. Michael Newton, through thousands of hypnotherapy sessions, has documented consistent reports from souls describing this process of selection. His research shows that souls collaborate with councils of more evolved beings to determine the perfect timing for each incarnation. This is not a sudden decision. It is the result of careful analyses that take into account cosmic, astrological, familial, and personal factors. But even after choosing a family and establishing an energetic contract with future parents, the soul still has the right to decide the exact moment of its entry. is as if the soul can observe the first weeks of fetal development before making a definite commitment. During this period, it assesses whether the circumstances truly align with its higher purpose or not. This perspective explains why some pregnancies end without any apparent medical reason. This is not a biological failure, but rather a decision made by the soul itself that the timing was not right or the circumstances were not suitable for its particular mission. This is a perspective that brings comfort to many parents who have experienced pregnancy loss and offers a broader understanding of these painful events. The choice of the exact moment of entry is not arbitrary. Advanced astrological traditions teach that each soul waits for specific serial configurations that align with its life purpose. This means that the soul may delay its entry for days or even weeks. If the astrological conditions are not suitable or may accelerate the process, if a particularly desirable configuration is approaching, many parents report dreams or mystical experiences in which the soul of their future child appears to them even before conception, explaining when it intends to enter and what kind of experience it wishes to live through that family. These encounters occur in subtle dimensions, but they leave behind vivid and clear memories.